Chokan Walikhanov is a Kazakh intellectual who shared different identities of Kazakh ethnographer, explorer, Chingizid, and Kazakh patriot, and at the same time he was part of St. Petersburg intelligentsia and Russian scholar. His biography shows a man who was always a foe on his own and successful trying to be a bridge between two cultures. The Western education he received made him look like an imperial agent, while the land he was born on gave him a status of inarodец, restricting his academic career on one hand and sympathy he felt towards the Central Asian people on another. Thus, despite Russia's effort to administer Kazakh steppe after the establishment of direct rule through incorporating Russian ideology into the Kazakh elite, through education and other political means, Walikhanov serves an example of imperfection of that plan, as it showed the impossibility of administration's intention of remaking intelligent people into the complete Russian subject, as it requires the abolishment of their cultural and ethnic heritage that Russia was unsuccessful to achieve. Part 1. Family and childhood as factors of his elite status.
Chokan Walikhanov, being a descendant of Chinggis Khan, was white-born and thus was provided with the status and resources needed to be recognized by the Russian administration. From the very childhood, Chokan was exposed to Russian culture, as his father served in Russian imperial administration based on his Chingizid heritage, and his grandmother frequent communication with government officials. As Sultan Galieva points out, from the middle of the 18th century, the Orenburg administration began collecting information on influential Kazakhs who would be worthy of service and useful for the use of the government ordinances on the affairs of the Ord, and would become a social support, reliable partners and conductors of Tsarist policy in the steppe. Information on the Kazakhs was collected, and officials of different ranks of the Orenburg administration participating in all administrative measures in the steppe. Based on their reports, the following criteria for attracting Kazakhs to the service were tracked: social background, knowledge of the Tatar and Russian languages, the degree of familiarity with the bordering Russian residents, and finally such qualities as ambition and desire to excel.
Part 2. Education and Walkhanov's early integration into Russian system. However, from the reports of Russian officials, it was concluded that the steppe is lacking educated people who would deserve to be selected to the administrative positions, and it was decided that in order to improve administrative system, it is important to place direct attention to the training of employees. Educational program taught in the newly established schools for translators and military schools, also known as Cadet Corps, also emphasized the importance of language, loyalty to Tsar and fatherland. Thus, for Russia to appoint new officials from the local body, it first needed to integrate democratic ideas of education, thus creating Kazakh elite that would later be servant to Tsar.
Walikhanov's background allowed him to become one of the brightest students of Siberian Cadet Corps Institute in Omsk that he successfully finished in 1847, and consequently, upon his graduation in 1855, he was appointed to be an adjutant of Russian Governor-General in expedition to Semirechye and Tarbagatay. Walikhanov's integration in the Russian system developed in accordance with the reforms introduced to enhance integration of Kazakh steppe into the empire. While Speransky staff in 1824 pursued reforms in administrative, judicial, fiscal systems, later reforms focused on the education of selected Kazakh individuals to maintain their influence on the local authorities in a new way. The social institutions of the Khan, Sultans, Beys, and Starshinas turned out to be in the sphere of the interests of the Russian administration. For the Russian government, it was important to involve representatives of the Kazakh elite in the service of the sovereign and the ruling dynasty, and through them to receive channels of influence on the Kazakh population and ultimately control over the territory of the Kazakh nomads.
Part 3. Rewards and recognition of his achievements by Russian administration. Meanwhile, Russia not only pursued strategy of appointing locals that were educated in schools organized in accordance to Russian ideology and taught the skills needed to serve Tsar, but also provided an additional motivation by promoting Kazakhs with ranks and certain gifts. Walkhanov's good service to Russia and his findings were finally recognized by Russian administration, as he was given Poruchik status, issued a bronze medal, and got officially accepted into Russian Geographical Society. After the recruitment of an individual into the system, several ways of promotion of these people were incorporated, as gifts from the highest name, rewarding with gold or silver weapons, cash bonuses, issuance of lump sum, the recruitment of prestigious orders and medals on new ranks, exemption from taxation, the appointment of the highest gratitude, and so on. So similarly to Walikhanov's successful service of Sultan Rus by Muhammad I Chuvakov and Muhammadjan by Muhammadov was also marked with a rank promotion. Part 4. His works and attitude towards Russian imperialistic policies.
The status of an erudite staggered Walikhanov through his life, as he was limited in the rights he possessed, including completion of cadet corps. Thus, it was of high importance for him to challenge the view of Kazakhs presented by Levshin in his work. As an example, he commented on Levshin's note about religious ignorance of Kazakh, despite claiming that very few of them have accepted Islam in a Muslims of Steppe. Everyone among Kazakhs knows that he is a follower of Muhammad. Moreover, his sympathy towards the re-establishment of Kazakh dignity could be explained by the national identity that was cultivated by his grandmother's influence and his lifelong sincere interest in Kazakh and Kyrgyz heritage. However, according to Bailey, Walikhanov had pro-Russian ideology and believed that Russian Empire can bring enlightenment to Kazakh steppe. Difference in Walikhanov's and Kazakh's world outlook can be seen in his O Musulmanstve v Steppe report. In this report, he critiques such common Kyrgyz practices as women getting married in very young age, mostly without their acceptance, aborts in the late months of pregnancy or killings of unwanted children, which weren't considered as crimes in public opinion of Kyrgyz. Therefore, additionally to the purpose of enhancing effectiveness of local administration, Russian Empire aimed to expand a pro-imperial ideology through the native elites. Russian government believed that it could ensure the incorporation of Kazakh steppe into the empire and facilitate controls of Middle Asia territories, since white bone were considered to be influential to the population. Hence, one of the main goals of education of Kazakh elites in Cadet Corps of Orenburg and Tomsk was to promote the rapprochement between Kazakhs and Russians and loyalty to the Tsar and Otechество. Although in the O Musulmanstve v Steppe, he was not pursuing the goal of promoting Christianity as the best religion based on his pro-Russian world outlook, but rather through evaluating benefits and drawbacks of both religions, concluded that the practice of Christianity would be more beneficial to the Kazakhs as it would connect steppe with the Western world and its progressive ideas. Above-mentioned statements can verify that in the case of Chokan Walikhanov, he worked not only for benefits given to him by imperialism, nor he didn't only serve Tsar and Russian ideology, but he believed in that it gave enhancements to the Kazakh way of life and society and still viewed himself as Kazakh.
И за кого же вы намерены просить?
За мой народ. Государь-просветитель не может не сострадать народу, лишенному просвещения. Народу нужны школы, больницы, а не чиновники-мздоимцы, которым нет числа.
Да, я знаю. Мои киргизы, добрые подданные.
Казахи, Ваше Величество.
Part 5. The return to his roots. Moreover, in 1846, Chokan Walikhanov became even more critical of the colonial policy after he accompanied General Chernyaev at his campaign to Jambul and seen how army treated local folk. It was a major factor which consequently led to his abandonment of his position at St. Petersburg Geographical Society and moved to Zaul close to Altan-Yemen Mountains. Conclusion. Walikhanov as a symbol of insufficiency of Russian tactics. To sum up, Walikhanov's biography illustrates the life of an individual who possessed a potential to mark the success of Russian efforts to create a completely loyal and highly educated local elite that would become the consistent body through which Russia could exercise power on Kazakhs. Russia pursued to achieve its goals through the education reforms and appointed selected intellectuals to the administrative positions. However, Walikhanov's works as A Musulmanstve v Steppe and Notes on Levshin not only show Walikhanov's independent thinking and critical evaluation of imperial policies, but also his consideration of the nation he felt he belongs to. Thus, existence of representatives of Kazakh elite as Walikhanov who didn't become fully supportive of imperial views as they still consider prosperity of Kazakh nation, shows the incomplete accomplishment of Russian mission in Kazakh steppe.